The Share Pickers Weekend Podcast with Justin, Paddy, Peter and Steve. The content of this podcast is not intended as investment advice. It is for information purposes only. People in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Welcome to What? Hang on.
Good stuff.
The Pekin Podcast.
Welcome to the Weekend Podcast with Paddy, Pete and Break-Even Stephen. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. You know, sometimes we talk for so long on the Weekend Podcast, I forget about the stuff we talk about. And a couple of people in this Share Pickers Investment Club reminded me that made me laugh, that Break-Even Stephen or Break-Even Steve. And someone said, Break-Even Stephen is better. He said, once I'm break-even, I'm out of there. No way, boys. Yeah. I like that a lot. Anyway.
Have you broken even this week much?
Yeah, any breaking even, Stephen, this week?
Well, I thought I was breaking even on Illica, and I was thinking what was going on there. But
I've got that down. We're going to chat about that in a bit now. Okay. So that's good. Because
I did my math wrong though. But yeah, okay.
I've actually got. It's not the first time, Steve. I've actually got a section here entitled WhatsApp Conversations, and you're the main character in two of them, Steve. That I find quite amusing. But on the Weekend Podcast...
Does one involve Steve's maths?
Yeah, two of them.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about a member's dilemma. We're going to be talking about that. How to do nothing, why investing in microcaps gives you an advantage on the big guys, Twitter poll, UK business owners are bullish, why Apple is the best brand in the world, and my conviction plays. There's 5 of them, right? I've only ever revealed 4. Next week, Paddy keeps asking me, texting me in Welsh for some reason. I don't know why he's doing this. And saying, what stocks can we talk about this week? Because my 5th conviction play, I haven't revealed publicly. It's in the Share Pickers Investment Club. There's a video there. But I will reveal it this time next week. It'll be live and direct to the public. Yeah, and I'm excited about it. And it takes a while after researching it to really realise, hang on, I think this could be good. I think
it's BT.
Yeah, it's BT. Steve's breaking even, Stephen. He's doing well. Yeah. No, in fact, let's go. This is the WhatsApp chat, right? This is on Polarian. Pete text, what percentage of your porf is Pollux now, boys? Steve, 45%. Then monkeys emoji with hands over his eyes. Right? And then Pete went, that's chunky. So the remaining 15 stocks take up 55%. Steve went, hang on. I did my sums wrong. Laugh emoji, 23%. How did you go from 45 to 23? And then Steve,
I forgot the total amount in my portfolio. I literally got it wrong by 50%.
This is consistent. This is like GB News with their sound and technical difficulties. You are very consistent with your bad math, Steve. It's very good. I mean, if no one's watched GB News, Pete, showed me this account on Twitter now, and I think it's growing faster than GB News account itself. Even though GB News is about 300,000, this account GB News fails is worth watching. It's hilarious. And I've watched GB News now consistently for a little bit of time, and they don't go 5 minutes without messing up. Every 5 minutes, something goes wrong. And they just watch the clips on Twitter. It's hilarious. And I'm just thinking, it's basics. Paddy, you worked in TV, but a lot of it is just basics, like misspelling the guest names and obviously not fading people up and just cutting the brakes too early. What's going on here? They do it all the time.
So I think they've got a mixture of some very cheap technology, and I think they probably haven't had the opportunity to pick talent from the widest pool. They've gone for people who would be willing to work at a channel like that.
Yeah, so they got low talent, bad tech. That combo is not good.
Well, maybe not low talent. Maybe just like they've gone for sort of like cheaper, sort of like intern types.
I think they have. I think that's what I said.
That someone who like running the graphics on a channel. Like normally, there's a package called Viz where you type the words in and it will format them and make them look nice, and it tends to spell check, and they clearly haven't got that. So it looks like it's someone just manually typing words in, and that person happens to be heavily dyslexic.
I know. Get the guy who can't. It's like say, who's bad at maths here? Okay, get Steve to this maths segment on the program. Okay,
I'll do it.
It's like and I think if you're worth watching 10 minutes, if you make a 10 minutes mistake,
I worked on a live show and we had a similar problem where the guy who made the graphics was really dyslexic, and he kept on, we had to have lots of serious chats with him because he kept on
Why
making
did you take him
errors.
off that role? What do you mean serious chats? He's not going to
We
improve.
set up a whole procedure where he had to sign it off with 3 people, and he still just kept on getting it wrong. So in the end, we just changed it. But that was a very low.
But hang on, that's bad. Surely that shouldn't have gone that far. He's the guy. Listen, listen, Jeff. We've noticed a couple of typos, on the descriptions there. I said, no, I'm dyslexic. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is get 2 other people in to check for you. No, just move him off that role because
this is low budget live TV. There's not someone to move it to, and then you have to try and that guy has to make that thing in 10 seconds and get it. You're constantly trying to push the envelope of what's possible with a really crap tech setup, and sometimes you just have to cut corners. So I can see it in their eyes. I've been there.
Yeah, do you know what?
What's going wrong?
Yeah, that guy. What's his name? The guy who went from BBC, Simon McCoy. And he had the flagship, the mid-morning show on the BBC News Channel. It's quite good, but you realise if it's put together nicely, like the guys at the BBC probably been doing it for years. It's very slick, and to get it that slick and seamless takes a lot of practice. And he just has to sort of riff with it a little bit. And but on there you can see almost soul destroying. I just found it desperate. They're desperate for content. They're just chatting to people. Like today, they took this doctor, right? And they said, "Let's go to the doctor," and she was just staring at them. I said, "Hello, doctor." And she obviously couldn't hear. But there's that split second where you don't know whether she can hear or they're in delay. And so she stays a bit longer. Oh, no, she's not there. Okay. Well, anyway, they started talking amongst themselves. And I can hear in the background, "No, I can hear them. Yeah, no, I can hear them now. I can hear them now." And some of them faded down. It's like, "Get it off the phone." Yeah, and they were still trying to finish the conversation. I can hear it. And someone, "Let's go back to the doctor sometime now." She said, "Oh, hello." And the screen went blank. What is going on here? And it's like that all the time. It's like hilarious. Anyway.
And it's like, you can imagine in that gallery what it's like after a week of this now. After the first day, a few mistakes. Like if someone's making human errors, that's fine, you can deal with it. But it looks like they are literally fighting with shadows.
Yeah, but do you know what? Andrew Neil's the chairman, and his show is 8 o'clock at night. And I watched a bit of that last night, and he didn't have the punch he normally has. And I feel he's shouting at people a lot. And by the time he gets on air, he's worn out. I think he's really exhausted.
Also got to pick up after that woman from The Apprentice, who, bless her, she's not the best, is she?
No, I was saying, to be fair, when she was on a debate on the Sky, I saw clips of her on a Sky debate show. She was okay, but debating with other people, bouncing off other people, and then hosting your own show where you have to talk. Yeah.
2 hours.
Did they do no dry runs? Did they do no rehearsal? Did they just turn up on Monday?
They're doing it now.
Start.
They're doing it now. They're doing it now. But I heard last night, right? For example, they're desperate for guests, of course. That woman Aggie, the 2 cleaners who used to go around people's houses and clean. That Aggie talking about Enid Blyton's racist tendencies. What's the relevance there? I don't know what's going on. And, anyway, they're desperate. Anyway, that Polarian is one. We're talking about Polarian and Steve there. This is the next one. Steve says, F word. "Wish I'd accidentally sold all my Illica like you, Pete. Sold half at the time, but it's plummeting this week. Do I cut my losses and get out? Do you think, Justin? When I say cut my losses, I mean £10.
And since then, I've completely... Because that's the problem with the Harry and Larry app, is it doesn't tell you. You can't figure out how much you bought and sold. You got to log on to their desktop. So I then logged on to see how much money I'd actually bought in. And because I kind of scaled in going up and I basically sold half, I think, I'm actually up quite a bit even. But so I'm actually fine with it.
Okay. And then so Steve said, "Shall I cut my losses?" When I say losses, I mean I lose £10. And I just say, "How is the business performing?" Steve come back with, "Looking now." So how long is this going to take? He's going to evaluate a business here. There we go.
I'm calling the chief exec now.
Okay, I'll wait for that.
I did.
And he came
back with a result.
This is the result. There's no real news from what I can see, but I think someone knows something behind the scenes.
Intense research digging that was.
I thought, well, someone will know something behind the scenes, hopefully, because they're running the business. If they don't, you're in real trouble. But listen, do you know what? Go on.
Sorry, what I love about Steve's WhatsApp messages like that, where it's £10, and I'm always waiting for the next one. Now, which way is this going to go? Is it going to the correction? Is
10 grand,
£1,000? Is it going to be 10%? Is it £100? £100? Where's it going to go? Where's the scale? Where's the margin of error in the error?
Because I think you bought in around about £1 initially, Steve, didn't you? And you topped up a bit more, didn't you?
Oh yeah, but then it went up and it pulled back, so I literally doubled. I put the same amount in again, and it went up. And then I conveniently sold. In fact, I took out what I put in almost. Okay. So I literally de-risked completely.
But when you say there, I think someone knows something behind the scenes. That could be quite a positive thing, because you're hoping they would. They're hoping they got some kind of experience, some knowledge that you don't have. I've had a message as well from someone in the SharePix Investment Club. It has dropped. If you look at the chart,
massively.
It's gone down.
Today it dropped 10% alone.
Well, when I bought
there's so much furniture people can buy. Like at some point, the market's going to be saturated.
Yeah. Electric-powered furniture, yes. But no, so it had that massive rise up on Christmas. Over Christmas.
Yes.
In fact, in Christmas Eve, went from £1 to £2 pretty much, 170. Then it went up to sort of 275, and it's attempted to get about that 4 times now. Then it's come back down. It's now oversold. But in fact, there's some buying come in there today. If you look at the last bit of chart, so and do you know what? I'm trying to do this more and more. It's very hard, and I keep saying this: ignore the share price sometimes. The share prices are volatile. Think about the business all the time. I mean, in actual fact, has the business deteriorated, do you think, since their last update? And so if it hasn't, don't worry. And I think once you buy something, you've got to have a minimum outlook for a 12-month, at least.
I know that, and I did say it, and that's the reason I didn't sell out of it, because I really like the company, but it does get a little bit concerning when it's dropping like 10%, because even this week, I think it was dropping almost 5% every single day, and it's 10% today, and you go, that's the point you think.
Sorry.
Go on. Does someone know something here? No, I don't know.
Yeah. When are their interims, Steve?
I don't know. Steve? Steve, when's their next bit of news, buddy?
They're probably coming up in August.
He says with a question mark. But no, do you know what? The thing about the market, right? Stock market. It's the market. There's buyers and sellers. People will want exposure to an EV play. It's a massive trend, and so you will have this volatility, of course. The company now, oddly, as the share price goes down, it gets cheaper, And like I said, if you in a real market situation, if you had goods that are wanted and all of a sudden you had a bit of a lull, you kept dropping the price, buyers come in, and they have today. So I know it's a bit of panicky, but if you've got like 5-10 stocks, you shouldn't worry too much. It's hard. I know it's emotional. I'm trying to say to the club all the time. There's lots of people talking about warrants in Gfinity, and I'm saying, listen, I know it's easy to get obsessed with that. But that's not the business. It's not the business at all. And it's just because you've got a share price attached to the business that moves your emotion. The business itself is doing well, and it's getting better. And I'm sure Ilika are now more developed, more advanced than they were. And then they mentioned their last update, so I can't see it going wrong. The trend is in the right direction here, isn't it? And I know it goes up and down, but I've sold out as well. But I mean,
their final results last year on the 9th of July, so they're imminent now. So that might have something to do with it.
Well, mid-June. Yeah, but do you know what? A share price like that can rally a lot in like a week, let alone 4 weeks. So we're 18th of June now. Mid-July, we're a month away. In a day, that's done 100% pretty much. So don't worry too much. It's, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not as worried now. I know that I've almost de-risked in the stock. So actually, that £10 was miles off. So I'm fine with it now.
Yeah. I keep. It's really hard. That book helps a lot. I mean, I'd advise you to get that book. It's quite heavy in parts, but the initial sort of chapters, that 100 Baggers book, it's very good. And even Psychology of Money. It's about, if you're an investor, you should have an outlook at least. They talk years and years and years. That's if you want to make good money. But everything's so liquid these days. Everything's so electronic. We have a down day, a couple of down days. We sell out. We think, hang on, the business is improving, So, yeah. So, do you know what I'm determined to do? I'm determined to do this now. Throughout this year, towards the end of this year, I'll get the 5 stocks. Unless I have bad news on one that goes the wrong way, I'm going to hold them. I'm just going to hold. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, if I need to trade around and entertain, but the less you trade, the better it gets. The less tempting it gets to do. And if anything, I may have a mess around in Bitcoin and stuff like that, but I'm going to leave my stocks. So I think they can do very well. And I'm going to try my best, almost to prove, say, listen, I've held these 5 stocks now for like 5 years, and they've done really well. And that's it. And I think most companies can do well. That's what I want to... I can hear someone laughing in the background, but who's laughing then?
You forget how long we've known you.
Yes, but listen, strategies evolve, Paddy.
But
strategy.
We also know how short your attention span is. Like you might keep those stocks in name, but you will top slice and you will have a fiddle around with some of your profits.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
There's no way.
Right, that to me is a challenge now, right?
Yeah, all right, cool.
It is a challenge.
You said this to us about 3 months ago, and since then you've done exactly that.
Listen now, right? Doing nothing, right, is one of the hardest things to do. It is complete. People just think, just do nothing, just sit there. But it is for humans, especially if you're humans. If you're an active mind, if your brain is like a vegetable, fair enough. It's you're not meant to do nothing. You're not meant to sit in. Otherwise, you're in a coma. If people who do nothing are in a coma. We're not like that. I don't know how many brain functions go on in a second, but it's quite a lot. And so it's really hard to watch the market moving, share prices go up and down, and sit there do nothing. But when it comes to investing, if you're investing in improving businesses, it's shown. It's one of the best things you can do is do nothing. And over trading as well negatively impacts your portfolio value. So you've got to just trust your research. If there's a drop, recheck the figures. And in fact, I said that I asked this question on Twitter. I said, "What do you do? How do you? What tricks can help you do nothing?" Because I said, it's one of the best things you can do when investing. It's been proven time and time again. In fact, the people who generally underperform are the people who overtrade and can't stop buying and selling. So, but and that's the thing. All you have to do, guys, is sit there on good companies. That's all you have to do. It sounds quite easy, but it's not, because as humans, we're not wired like that. So,
but when you're saying like you have a little play with Bitcoin or something like that. Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, why don't you have a little play on some stocks as well? Like,
no, but I don't.
You've got your 5 holdings. They're there, banked. Yeah, put them away for a rainy day. Well, that's that. But the money why invest in something like Bitcoin, which is nuts? When at least, all right, some AIM stocks, or a lot of AIM stocks are nuts, but there could be some quite good opportunities that turn into even better opportunities. Like you actually kind of have a little dabble in a few things and they go, actually, that's turning into quite a good one.
Aside a little sort of $0.25 or something and just play around with that. Just like some spare change.
I tell you why. Because I want to play stocks for keeps, right? But Bitcoin, there's no fundamental. Apart from decentralization and all that stuff, and the tech is all good, yeah. But Bitcoin, there's no real businesses there, so you have to trade them and mess around with them a bit. But with businesses, they are proper businesses, and I don't want to sort of start going down the route of I'll have a little dabble on that, a little punt on that one, because do you know what? I just want to be an investor in businesses that are improving. So anyway, I asked people. So do you know, if I sully that side of it, the stock side of it, I'll start trading here. And it's an ethos. If you start trading around in stocks now and again.
But that's just in your head.
No. I'm an all or nothing person. So if I start trading a little bit here and there with one stock, I'll do it with another stock. I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. So if I'm going to be a dirty trader, it'll be in crypto. That's it. With stocks, no. Stocks are pure. Don't mess around with those.
But when the next escape hunt comes along,
there will never be another escape hunt. People don't see it. You look to the future. Do you know what? In fact, one of the 100 baggers in the book there was about a retail outlet that had this cut and paste formula, right, for retail, and it started very small, went across America. Basically, year after year they opened a couple more stores. Before you know it, they're a big operator, and it's literally every shop was profitable, on its own. Not a big deal, but sooner or later, after a couple of years, and in 20 years, it was a 100 bagger. People, wow, look at that company, and they get more efficient as time goes on. Their brand builds, and they get more recognisable. They got bigger marketing budgets. They need it. In fact, one of the examples in there is Monster drinks. Monster drinks. In fact, we had a painter around. He drank it all day long. Right, this painter come around. I thought, how can you drink that stuff? And in the book, it's phenomenal. 2 South Africans just bought this sort of smoothie business, and they tried all different things. They had lots of different products, all different size bottles, and they were all over the place. And they started to do this energy drink called Monster, and it just started taking off like crazy. So they started whittle down all their products to one product, pretty much, Monster, and it started selling like crazy. They realised men bought it and all this, but it became a 700 bagger.
Yeah,
Monster drinks. But so
Why do you,
So if
why
Monster
do you,
Drinks comes along, you're not going to buy some
Right.
Monster.
No,
Exactly.
what I'm saying is, the people don't achieve, 10 bagger even, because they are impatient. Generally, that's it. There are plenty of people
But
who.
why-
You're
why
not
have
going to
a
stop
state-
looking, though, are you? I can't
No,
imagine.
no,
you
I want to stop
spotting
looking.
a
No,
company
no,
going, yeah, that
no.
looks great,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to invest in that.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop looking. Of course not. But what I'm saying is,
That's right. Why have a statement like, "Oh, there will never be another escape hunter"? Well, I mean, what? What are you on about?
no, I
Of
mean
course it's gonna-
I mean in the escape rooms area in the UK. I think.
I didn't mean
Keith,
that.
what he means is there's not going to be an escape hunt 2.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean in the escape room space.
Oh,
I
no,
meant like the equivalent, or the
An
next
opportunity.
Truth in, the next Gfinity, the next whatever, the next stock that you.
Oh, well,
invest
no,
in.
sorry, I've done that recently. I bought into 3 stocks, right? Is it 3 stocks? 1, 2, 3, 4 stocks, actually. And of those 4 stocks I bought into, I've now sold down 3 of them. And the other one I've gone up in, and I realised that's the one, actually. So it does take a bit of, learning about the company.
Hold on. So you've got your 5 stocks, and you're investing in a bunch of other stuff as well.
No. So now I literally got 7 stocks,
Right. Okay.
But I'm in no rush to get rid of the 2 others until there's news out, and I'm determined not only to buy right, to sell right on other stocks as well, because it's all about patience, and you know full well, if you hold on, right, you can get the dirtiest, crappiest stocks out there, dirty resource stocks that got nothing apart from a rampy chairman or CEO in Africa somewhere, and they'll look like they're dead in the water, and all of a sudden it'll shoot up by 200%, So you can just wait, a bit of patience, wait till that day. 'Cause it happens with most stocks, like Bazant Resources, stuff like that, Their day, listen, every dog has his day, and you don't have to buy a dog, and that's the trouble. People say that every dog has his day. I don't want to buy a dog and have one day. I want to buy a good company and have a couple of years, So, but even it's worth hanging around.
Everyone has to do what they want to do, and everyone's entitled to play it how you want to play it, and you want to do that, that's fine, But for me, and that's where I have to say the investment club's good, because you can look around there and see what other people are talking about, look at some ideas, and I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll buy stocks that interest me. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's
That's
fine.
a good thing, actually. You know what? One of the things, as you get a bit older and have a bit of experience, I have to invest in businesses now, and that's why I've gone from resource stocks. Do you know what doesn't interest me? Is drill holes in the dirt in Africa.
No,
And then coming up with, we've got 3 meters at 0.25 copper. Whoa! All right! I don't care. I do not care about what you got in Africa, in dirt, digging up dirt in Africa. I don't care. It doesn't interest me whatsoever. Anyway,
You're not a fan.
no.
Just don't buy it then.
No, I won't.
Yeah, I wouldn't
all that
mind.
nonsense. Oh, we're going to put 5 drill holes in here. Oh, I don't care about you drilling holes in the ground. Boring. Anyway, so what I said on Twitter says, what tricks help you do nothing?
There's escape hunt. Yeah, that's
I enjoy them because I like that they're rolling out. I mean, the thing is, it's a leisure sector, right? That they
Yeah,
are now the
okay,
leader in. They are the leader in. It's catching on. It'll be around for ages, and I think, and not only that, VR and tech is getting. Their VR and AR hasn't been even given. It's starting to now, open up more VR and AR games, which are good. I mean, you do lots with that. It's massive. Anyway, listen. So I asked people
Justin,
on
over here, Justin, over here. Right,
yeah.
back in.
I asked people on Twitter, right, what tricks help you do nothing, right? And here's a couple of answers I got, which I quite like. It said, trust your research. If there's a drop, recheck the figures, like Steve did earlier with Ilika. He said, not much news there. But if the fundamentals remain the same, you have to stick to your guns. Also, remind myself that it's a long-term. Fluctuations will happen. That's a good one. Second one, force myself to remember the ones I sold way too early. That's also a good thing to do. Play computer games, read a book, box set, TV series, go for a long walk, post something political on Twitter, just cause an argument on there, distract yourself. There's also another thing, just keep aside a little bit to play around with. There we are. There's another one, say, cancel your internet subscription. That's a good thing. Get out for a game of golf. Someone said, look at the Bitcoin chart. Someone said, forget your Harry and Larry password. Another person said, boozing. When you have a down day, just booze. That's it. I'll just hit the booze. Sod it. And then the one I liked at the end was someone who said Tinder. One word answer. Tinder. When the stock's not going my way, let's just go on Tinder. I love that. See, but I think that's good though. Sometimes I think you have to switch off and deal with it how you can, but don't make the mistake because the stocks are going down or the market's having a bit of a sell-off or there's volatility. Don't just sell. Don't sell a good business because the share price is going up and down or down a bit. It doesn't make any sense, really. And the more I realise that, the more I frame that in my head, the more I realise it does make sense not to do that. Do anything you can to just stop tinkering around because the share price is moving a bit in the wrong direction or not going in the right direction. Stop tinkering. It's not good. If you want to tinker or potter around, do it in the garden, not with your stocks. Yeah. Because if you read this book, that's the number one reason why people do not make mammoth returns, because they tinker around when the market's a bit volatile. So that's all I'm saying. Don't tinker. If you're a good business, hold on to it. It'll get better, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I want to say something here. Paddy, listen. A while back, you said, how does a guy in a garage in Southampton know better than equity analysts and all that? And I said, CPAD, and you thought I was a bit sensitive about that. No, this is true, and this is a section of the show where I say why investing in micro caps gives you an advantage on institutions on so many different levels. First of all, big companies generally don't start off big. They start off small. Some of them start off really small. And in fact, if you look at the stats on the UK market, 80% of the year's winners come from sub 20 million market cap, which is a micro cap. Small caps are like a lot bigger than that. So, and also one of the things people fail to understand is that I don't know if you saw Plarion this week. It was mentioned in Telegraph. Telegraph's a national newspaper, of course, now online presence. Never been mentioned in a national newspaper like that before. And there's coverage there by Questa, which is quite well known. And a lot of people just read that. People like my father would read that, or he doesn't get the Telegraph, but he reads the equivalent in Daily Mail or the Money Mail. And these stocks are not on their radar until they appear in these publications. And generally, these people reading these publications have disposable income. They're not really active investors. They just want to, they like to dabble in the stock market. My father's always loved dabbling in the stock market. Hasn't really got an idea what he's doing. He'll just go on tips. And so, and obviously tips from a national newspaper are better for him than his mate in the golf club, So he'll look at that. Oh, that's interesting. He'll read that. And that sounds interesting. And they'll just put money into it. And then all of a sudden you'll find that probably it'll get covered in the Investors Chronicle, Financial Times. So that there is very good. And the reason why it's covered is because there are funds involved now. Because funds generally will not touch, micro cap stocks because they don't have liquidity. And even now, if I buy into stocks micro caps, I can't get back out of them. That's why I have to have conviction now that this fifth pick I've got, I can't sell that company. It's got very little liquidity. I can't just sell it. So I've got to be right. Otherwise, I'll lose a chunk of money. But that's why funds times 10 that, they just can't just get in and get out, so if they make a mistake. So they won't get into small cap stocks or micro cap stocks because they haven't got liquidity. So when they start generating, interest, and it seems like the idea is going to work out, like with Plarion, then the big caps come on. And so, so you should invest in micro cap companies because you've got an advantage there. They don't get any coverage. No analyst covers them. When analysts start covering the funds and start in there, and you're going to start getting a rolling momentum then of big liquidity, big analysts coming in, putting their money in. Other investment houses do the same. It's like a snowball effect. Plarions at the start of that journey right now. You watch now, the money will start pouring in. We'll get above that £1 level, and it'll go berserk. But that's why private investors can do a lot better than institutions if they just stick around with microcaps, because it's no point going in the mid cap or big cap spaces because they're well covered, well analysed. You've got teams of analysts looking at those. They know a lot more than you do about those stocks. But the micro cap stocks, you can know more about those than any other analyst or fund. So it's that's why it's worth messing around with micro caps. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah. Plarion is just battling that £1. Is that a psychological thing, do you think? I don't know
what's going on there. There's some volume there, some sellers there. I mean, if you look at it, there's always going to be people taking profit, de-risking a little bit. So I think once it gets that £1 level and it fails, some people take profit, but it's hanging around there. It's got that 90 to, a £1 trading range. I think it'll break sooner or later.
There'll be some sell orders around that number as well, won't there?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. If it goes up and comes back down, yeah, probably. So, I mean, earlier investors...
Or if you're smart, you put it in at sort of 99.9 or something, like just to try and get it.
But you know what's odd?
So, yeah.
What I found out, Bam, I used to work at Bam.
Oh, yeah, Bam.
He's invested in Plarion.
Is he? Wow.
He said, no,
or randomly?
No, he was never invested in the stock market before. That's the first stock he's ever bought.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Because you said, or has he found it from a different?
Well, I don't know. He just said I looked at one of your videos, and that was the one I saw. I liked it, and so that kind of thing that happens, that's crossover to mainstream. You know, more people catch on to it, and companies that do really well. You realise people just start telling other people about them. So people who never invested tell friends of theirs or whatever, and they start jumping in. In fact, you know what? I had a call from Barclays investors because I was trying to sell something and I couldn't sell it, he called me up and said, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "The best way to do it is this." I'll put a call in. I was on the phone to him, to a market maker, trying to put this sale through.
Oh, God, what did he sound like? What sort of voice do they have?
No, he's from Scotland. In fact,
hello.
Scottish there.
Hello.
Paddy, you supporting Scotland tonight? We're
I'm going to support Scotland until they're not winning. And then I'll support England.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go, Pat.
Well,
there we go.
I said to this guy anyway, I said, "Listen, I'm trying to..." He said, "Do you want to sell all of it?" I said, "I don't want to sell all of it, no." In fact, people in the Shippers Investment Club will know what stock I was trying to sell, just to top up in Plarian. And I said, "No, I don't want to sell all of it. I want to get to a certain level on this other stock, Plarian." In fact, I said, "Do you invest?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I have a double it again." Yeah. I said, "Plarian, right, it's going to be huge. Tell all your friends in Barclays stockbrokers, tell them all." I said, "I've been in this for a couple of years now." I said, "It could be a FTSE 100 company, and I think it will be." And he said, "Oh, right." Yeah, I was telling him about it. I said, "Listen, at the moment..." And in fact, let me read what I put out in thing. And the more I read about it, the more it makes sense, right? When Richard, CEO, is very conservative, said what he said, I thought, what? Really? He said he sees polarizers in every hospital within 10 years. And I thought, that's really odd. And I thought, I realised, right, healthcare is about basically analysing, finding what the problem is and dealing with it, you know? Now, if you haven't got the tech to do that, the healthcare professionals who've trained for years and years can't do their jobs properly, you know? And that Oxford University study with Plarian Tech proved that. MRI, CT scans couldn't pick up long COVID, but their tech could. So what's going to happen here? Do you think, healthcare professionals will be happy in the knowledge that they know something wrong, but they haven't got the tech to work out what it is? Or do you think that the tech will just be bought? Of course it will. I mean, it's not beyond the budget of these hospitals, and of course it will. They've got to have the best tech. So anyway, go on.
Absolutely. The reason, going right back to the start of why I was asking you boys on WhatsApp what your percentage exposure is, and Steve was 1,000,000% or whatever it was. The reason I was asking was that I'm looking at mine, I'm about 25%, but the more I'm looking at Plarian, the more I'm reading at, I saw the Telegraph thing, and it was like, what is, we've talked about the FDA being, apart from the FDA, what is the potential downside? What could go wrong here? Well,
in fact, did you watch the webinar, Pete? Did you watch the webinar?
I was otherwise engaged this week, sorry.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a member's dilemma. He DM'd me on the Shippers Investment Club, and he said, "Share this with the webinar, please, but obviously don't reveal my name," because he said, in fact, there's another friend of mine. I won't say anything. Anyway, he said, "Share this dilemma," and this is what he said. "I hold two stocks. One is Plarian, and I'm massively up. My average is low 20s, right?
Yeah,
and it's 90% of my portfolio." He said,
"Wow,
my portfolio is now valued more than what I owe on my mortgage."
Wow.
And he said, and the way things are going with Plarians, it's going to dramatically transform my portfolio even more to where it's a substantial amount of money for me and my family. Thought about selling some, but can't justify any reason to sell. He said, "Am I crazy? LOL. What do you think? I'm very comfortable with my portfolio, and it doesn't give me sleepless nights or anything. I just laugh at seeing the rise." Feel free to let the guys in the webinar have their view and put their input. I can never make the webinar due to putting my little one to bed, but thanks, been a follower for yours for years. Thanks very much for Plarian, right? And so I put this on the webinar, and a lot of people said, "You've got to de-risk, you've got to de-risk," And I said, "Guys, what would you do if you're that guy's position? Give me your opinion. 90% of your portfolio value, it's done very well. It's more than his mortgage worth. And yet it could go even further, of course. What would you do there?"
90's a lot,
The
though,
mortgage
isn't it?
thing's a big thing, isn't it? The mortgage is that's life changing. No mortgage. Depends what sort of mortgage we're talking about here. If it's like a sort of like Cardiff mortgage or a London mortgage.
Ouch. Okay. Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard because that's exactly my point, isn't it? Because it's all going very well. That's great. And actually, what is the downside? What's the potential hiccup here? FDAs are the obvious one. What else could go wrong? They've got that exclusivity potential. There's all of that, so that's good. I did have
a moment today where I was looking at it and thinking, should I stick some more in? And sort of members of the sort of Europa Metals situation came
you
to me.
can't compare Europe Metals to Polaris.
You can't compare it.
But at the time, we were put yourself back at that time when we were waiting for that survey or whatever it was, and it was guaranteed that if it came back the way they said it was going to, then it was going to be worth like 38 times whatever it was worth. And we were all sitting there going, this is going to happen. There's no way it's not going to happen. What could possibly go wrong? I think we were asking the same question. What could go wrong? Like, they know that's in there, that's going to show that's in there, and turns out some idiot did the wrong thing somewhere and it all went to pot.
Yeah, so I know, but
we're asking the question, what could go wrong with the FDA approval? Maybe there's something else that could also have an impact.
Yeah, but hang on. We're talking about a dirty old resource stock with imbeciles of directors, right? With no skin in the game, right? With nothing special there at all. They've got a bit of stuff in the ground in Spain, that's all, in a rock, that's all.
It's not jurisdiction I tested.
Yeah, and yet no skin in the game. BS directors, and it's nothing special. There's about 1,000 of those projects around the world. Now, this is what I said. A lot of people said, reduce your holding there. This is what I said. I said, first of all, you have to look at the risks here. There's known risks and then unknown risks. Okay, so what are the known risks? And I said, with any small cap company that's not generating free cash flow, do they have cash? That's the biggest risk most small businesses have, cash flow. They just raise over 25 million, so that's not a worry. So discount that's fine. Second risk is the FDA. I mean, the brokers say 90% chance of success there. I can't see a problem with it because literally xenon gas is the drug part of the drug device sort of, phase 3 trial that went through the past. And xenon gas has been passed separately by the FDA as safe anyway. So I can't see anything wrong with it, but that's, to me, the risky point. But it's a very low risk. So I said, if I were you, I'd hold on a bit longer. I think because once it breaks that £1, I think it'll go. But people say, no, you can't have it all in one company. But we have this arbitrary figures in our head about de-risking and all this and having a certain percentage in one stock and all that stuff. This guy wouldn't have done this well if he hadn't have had this amount of stock in one stock, If he'd diversified over 10 stocks, he wouldn't be anywhere near doing as well as this. Some of the stocks were falling.
No.
So
exactly.
I said, what's odd is this. There are probably people, on the webinar who have their own businesses, small businesses, doing quite well maybe, but their livelihoods are invested in that completely. They pay their mortgage off for that, but they have to invoice for people, and people may not pay them properly. So on a monthly basis, everything's in one business. And yet, is that business they're in as unique, as globally, as influential as Polarian, which has got 25 million in cash anyway? So the way the risk's up, I don't think there's... I think Polarian is a 1 in a 10-year, opportunity, pretty much. And so I would say, hold on for a while. That's what I'd say.
But even at 90% of his portfolio, you just say, hold on.
Yeah, because
I'm not disagreeing with you because I'm looking at my 25% and going, well, yeah, why haven't I got 90%?
Yeah.
Because he's only bought 2 stocks, but you are. Let's be honest. If he takes a hit, he'll take a big hit. You won't so much,
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And it's all about what's your appetite for risk and reward. If you can put up with that, like you say, he can sleep at night. He's laughing. It's fine. But if they don't get FDA approval, but I said sell it before. It may sell a bit before FDA approval. Is that the case?
I'd be tempted to sell a little bit and pay off a chunk of the mortgage. To be honest, like you can bring that down to 70%, and that wouldn't. You'd still be making a decent. We don't know what we're talking about here, but you'd still be making some big change if they do well.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because you go right, do the really sensible thing and sell half now. So really take it down so it's less than 50% of your portfolio, blah, blah. And then as and when, it gets to £2, £3, whatever, you're going, man, if I'd held that when I had 90% of my portfolio, it'd be worth this much now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just investing. But,
it is. And do you know what? I've made the most money in stocks when I've already gone big. And in fact, one of the chapters, in that 100 Baggers book is about, and you got the myths. And it is a myth. People think, diversify, you have to 20 stocks at least. No, you don't. If you have 20 stocks, you're never going to make any money. Honestly, you're not. You have to have 10 stocks, less than that. That's why I'm going to 5 stocks. And if you look at, Richard, for example, Houlihan, right? He is a CEO. He's now got about... Richard Houlihan, yeah, he's a CEO, right? I'm trying to find out shareholder information. He's paid by Polarian, right? He owns 2% of the company, which is 2.9 million shares, right? So that's close to 2.8 million quid. If it goes wrong, what's going to happen to him? He's fully invested. He gets paid by Polarian, so he's fully in. The founder of this company owns 7.6% of the company. 12 million shares. They're fully invested, these guys.
But things do go wrong and people do lose money, so that does happen.
What else are they going to do?
No, but what I'm saying is, this guy is probably got the guy on the member. It's probably got a job elsewhere, and maybe I'm assuming he's not relying on Polarian to pay his mortgage. I'm assuming he's got a job anyway. So it's up to him to take the risk, isn't it? But I just think I'd wait for a while because. At the moment, I can't see. We're 100 days away on the 28th. In 10 days' time, in fact, we're 110 calendar days away from FDA approval. I can't see. I can't see.
You wouldn't sell like you sit it out for another couple of months, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
At least just see what happens. There's no reason the next couple of months for it to go off a cliff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't see the biggest risk point. There's no cash. The cash is fine. So the biggest risk I can see is now FDA approval. I would probably, if I was him, I'd probably de-risk. Before then, whatever happens, because I think it'll rise towards that. And of course, there'll be more people talking about that, saying, month away from FDA. I think a month away will start to rally very strong. In fact, more than that, I think, because it's odd. I think we do have this arbitrary thing about de-risking and all that, but you don't make big money if you got lots of stocks. You won't make good money. You've got to have a bit of conviction. A bit of balls. That's why generally most people don't become mega rich in the markets because they play it safe, they play it sensible. They have this thought in their mind: you've got to have 20 stocks. You must have less than that. No, it's very volatile markets. Yeah, but if you do deep research, like Warren Buffett said, diversification is basically insurance for the ignorant who haven't researched. So you won't take a hit. But if you know the company back to front.
It's lucky all of us have done lots of research, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond the ticker, Steve.
Steve, oh, yeah.
Break-even.
We're not going to run out of xenon gas, are we? There's not anything stupid like that. There's not.
No, he's questioning about that.
Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it? Exactly. You're saying what could go wrong, but or xenon suddenly is discovered.
No, they've got I think they don't use it a lot. It's like they're not using tons of it. It's like one bag.
I was going to say a negative story around xenon appears or whatever,
Yeah, but it's like the guy who fills up balloons at the fun fair. One of those big tanks. That's what it is. Small balloon.
They use xenon gas in bulbs as well.
Yeah. There you go. They do. Yeah, lights. Yeah.
Well, they'll find like the kids with those balloons on street corners now. Like they'll find some other use for it that's more attractive than saving people's lives.
Yeah. But no, I don't think xenon per se, because it's used in lights. Well, it's more the use in a human that there might be a story, and then hold on, that throws the spanner in the works. But anyway, no, that won't happen.
Talking down our own stock here, it's probably important to point out we're just chatting around the subject. We're just
but look at potential. We're looking at potential pitfalls.
We're just trying to make a topic out of Justin's thing rather than necessarily.
Yeah. But no, just say one thing, but also the broker note. So I'm saying a broker note. Why? And Richard was very conservative. He said the broker note was conservative because they predict having 240 units in 2030. Now, in their last results, Polarian. Let's be honest. If you go look at the brokers and the guys that work in Polarian, who knows more about the industry? Of course, it's the guys that work in Polarian because they are in that industry, and they are all medical professionals. If you look at the founder, he used to work at GE, which was spun out from. So, and even the big shareholders are in that industry, so they know a lot about this. And so the broker predicts 240 machines by 2030. There's 11,000 MRIs in the US alone. And Polarian said in the last result, they're targeting 1,000 institutions nationally, having multiple centres of excellence in medicine, so they could have multiple systems in one hospital. And they said the combined addressable capital equipment market there for our product approaches $500 million in equipment sales alone. That doesn't include the gas. The gas is the profitable bit. And yet the brokers only got them down as like doing 20 million by 2030 in equipment sales. So there's a massive gap between the broker's note and what Polarian think they'll do. And I know where I'd put my money. The professionals who actually work in that field, which are Polarian. Because they're the ones who've been having the talks with the hospitals and all these people and these centres. So, the broker's note is very conservative, So, all of that. And anyway, it's funny about risk and reward, isn't it? I mean, if you look at that, someone saying, Buffett, like, for example, for a long time, he didn't go big in diversification. Now, of course, his company, because it's so big, he has to own lots. But at the start, he literally used to research a business to an inch of his life and go big on it, and that's it. And yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes. Okay. Anything else I want to talk about there? Do you see the Twitter poll I did? And
no.
Okay. I'll
no.
Very even Stevens, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like Brexit.
Yeah.
It was like
what was it?
50, wasn't it? Pretty much.
It was like COVID vaccinations are to become compulsory for staff in care homes in England. I was surprised at that actually. In order to protect the NHS, the vulnerable, and to get the economy back to normal, should COVID vaccines be compulsory for all? Right? The results were 48% said yes, and 52% said no. And
this is like GB News, isn't it?
yeah, this is. But what's your thoughts on that? My thoughts are this, right? I knew that was going to be a traction there. I don't think it should be compulsory, but I often wonder why people aren't having the vaccine. I think it's not only it's good for all, isn't it? It's like, why are you not having it? Because it's not just about you now. It's for the greater good. Stop being selfish. Deaths and hospitalizations haven't really gone up, and that's because of the vaccines. And how many people are really dying at the moment with vaccines? Not many. Come on, you can put your tin hats on, but take them off for a little bit and learn a bit. If you look at the stats alone, we've done 70 million vaccinations in this country now. How many people have died from a vaccination or had complications? Not many.
No, don't know.
Get it done. Maybe it should be two things. If you don't want it done, you can't travel around then and share it around. Because someone did point out to say, in fact, you are more likely to have variants if you don't get vaccinated. So, and that's the problem at the moment, variants. So there is an argument saying, listen, okay, it's up to you. You can have right of choice, but then your freedoms are limited until we get this under control. I think is that fair?
Well, that's what vaccine passports are, isn't it? And that's why everyone's why the same crowd are so anti-vaccine passports. But if you want to get variants under control, you need to be sending vaccines to other countries. Really, we're fine here.
Yeah. Have a guess. All right.
Just sending millions of doses to countries that aren't well vaccinated.
Have a guess. What percentage of the population now? What percentage of UK hospital beds are taken up with COVID patients? What percentage?
7%.
11.
7%, 11 is 11. Paddy.
I don't know. 5?
Lower.
4.
Lower.
3.
Lower.
2.
1.
Yes, Peter. What?
1.
Less than 1%, right?
Yeah.
Of UK hospital beds taken up with patients with COVID. Yes? Unbelievable, isn't it?
I love your old man.
It's slightly misleading fact, though.
Why is it misleading? Why is that?
Just because they've recently increased the amount of hospital beds by about 50% from what it used to be. So there are
I know, but there are more people in hospital now with literally, a hamster stuck up their anus. I mean, let's be honest, there are. It's not a worry. I mean, we went in a lockdown to protect the NHS. It's protected. Even with this variant going up, it's fine. I mean, I don't mind spending an extra month, But I mean, let's be honest, the economy is pretty much open anyway. But I mean, for businesses, I don't think it's going to have a massive impact if you let those people have an extra 30 guests at their wedding. I don't think that's going to.
No, well, I just feel sorry for all those businesses that have been hammered and hammered again, and it's like, I just think, it should just be a fact of life now. Get on, like hospitals.
Also, the whole
are
question
not
here,
stretched.
The question here isn't like, should we have another lockdown or should we go back in, or should this all continue? Like, there's no need for any of this to have happened if they just got a grip of it at the start and made.
Everything in hindsight. Do you know what? That's why I said about that's one of my videos.
Yeah, but everyone was saying there's a new variant in India, dude. Do you want to stop flights from India? And it's like, it's fine. Like that was the point to stop this one.
Yeah, ironically, I mean, did you see those tweets from Cummins? And Cummins is trying his best to hang on to a bit of fame, isn't he? And I don't think anyone will employ him again now, really. Do you? He's unemployable now, Cummins, isn't he? He spent hours. The guy is an amazing liar. There's liars all. Politicians are liars, of course they are. But you can see when he asks to come up with more details or text messages, but he's come up with one or two. But I don't think if you do 7 or 8 hours of interrogation and you really hammer, the Prime Minister and Matt Hancock, and nothing comes of it. A couple of text messages not going to do with him. I don't know if you saw that, but Boris said, do you see the BBC, oddly, there was, in the text messages, Cummings said about testing in America had gone up massively. In the UK it hasn't, and he's blaming Hancock. Then Boris came back with, totally effing hopeless, about Hat Hancock. And and then the BBC led with, and the Prime Minister described him as useless. He didn't. He said he's totally effing hopeless. And the BBC had to dance around that. And I think useless and hopeless are two different things, isn't they? Hopeless is lack of hope. And
you know what I love about that is the press when Hancock was walking.
I saw that. It wasn't the street. It was his car.
Are you hopeless? No. What response do you think you're going to get from that?
No, do you see it though? Do you know what happened? It wasn't. He was driving out in a big sort of Range Rover with the window down. I don't know why the window down. He was coming out. He said, "Mr. Hancock, are you hopeless?" He said, "I don't think so." I don't think so. That's the line now. Useless you are, you dickhead. It's like you can't even say no. It's like, I don't think so. Can I get an opinion on this?
Yeah. I don't think I am.
I don't think so. Am I useless? Am I driver? No, you're okay.
What would have been better if you just went, yes?
Yeah. Up yours. If he did that, at least be a bit, had a bit of conviction in his answer. He had no conviction. I don't think so. Idiot. Do you know
Are you indecisive? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I know. It's like, do you know what? So I just keep thinking, right, when I see a bit of that, it's comedy gold, is it? Richard Madeley, perfect, unbelievable. That guy is phenomenal. And do you see, you shared that tweet, Pad, and Greg James shared it, about, it seems like his scripts are being written by Alan Partridge, as writers, and they're spot on, isn't it? He talked about Hitler Youth. And he said, we. He used the word we. He turned to Susanna. He was talking about that girl who went to Afghanistan and she converted to, sort of extreme terrorism and all that. And she wants to come back now. And then Richard Madeley had this really odd... The way he flipped his glasses was very funny. He was watching something and he came up, just flipped his glasses. He missed the handle on one, just trying to flip it again like Alan Partridge would do. Do you know what I was thinking about last night, he said? Do you know what I was thinking about? Is that during Hitler's time, they punished all the adults, the supporters of Hitler and all that. We never went after, he said, we never went after the Hitler Youth. Well, I thought about it. I don't think we did. I don't think we ever went after the Hitler Youth.
We didn't.
And there's Susanna Reid looking at him, thinking, where do I go with this one? No, I don't think we did.
Yeah.
And what did she say? Interesting? Or, you're right. as if she'd been reading up, like Richard of an evening, the Judy next to him drinking bottles of wine, reading about Hitler Youth. That's an odd. And I just think, do you know what? He's amazing. If you want someone to replace Piers, let him do what he wants. Just give him loads of caffeine. Let him self-produce. Go on, get him on GB News. That will get the things going. That's perfect. He's unbelievable. Does he see this? Does he see the parodies that goes around with him? And does he question himself or not? Because he cracks on, doesn't he? He's got no sort of self-consciousness about it, is he?
Yeah. No control. Yeah.
We never went after Hitler Youth, did we? We never went after them.
No. Oh, good point, Richard. Why don't you go after them now?
Yeah. Okay. So finally, talk about the Euros a bit, but I just want to say, Apple, right? Best brand in the world. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
And I got an example of this, right? Do you know what happened this week, right? So my AirPods stopped working, and normally I wouldn't have bought AirPods. They're too expensive. They don't stick in my ears anyway. But I found a thing that sticks on the end of them. It works, and I listen to them every day. Take the dog for a walk. Listen to books now because all music's rubbish now. I've listened to every song, and so I'm on the books. But they stopped working. And I phoned a guy in America. Hi, Justin. How you doing? And it's like seemed to be like an American sort of middle-aged hippie guy, really cool, quite relaxed. And I felt, I have to be more relaxed talking to him. He's almost influencing me, you know. I see. And when you do this, can you plug them in a second? Just plug them in. What kind of cable are you using? Apple has sent me this cable. It's like a USB. Steve probably knows. I don't know what it is. It's like a USB 4 or something. I don't. It doesn't fit anything.
USB-C.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into anything. The one end does.
What? It's a new USB.
Yeah.
USB.
It fits into the new MacBooks. Well, the MacBooks have been around for about 3 years.
I haven't got a new MacBook. One end is a normal sort of. It goes at the bottom end of my iPhone. And the other bit doesn't go into anything.
Anyway, continue.
I'm looking around the house thinking,
Most people know what they are, but
I'm looking around the house thinking, what the hell does this fit into? Did they send me anything? I'm looking for plugs that they may have sent me with my AirPods. They haven't.
Oh, no.
No, anyway, so I said, okay, try a normal USB. And he said, very cool. And I said, okay, it seems like it's the case. And so we went through all this thing. He said, okay, where do you live? I said, okay, Southampton. Oh, that's booked for 2 weeks. I said, what, fully booked? He said, yeah, the Apple Store. And I said, oh, okay, in Westgate. Yeah, okay. He said, do you want to send it to us? I said, yeah, well, how long will that take? Shouldn't take long. Literally, the box came next day, right? Excellent instructions. It was like a Apple box, lovely presentation. Put it in the box. Well, no, within that, before the day it ended, had an email saying, we've received your package. Next day, email, we've repaid your item. Next day, it was back with me. I thought, what? I'm never going to Apple Store again. That was phenomenal. How did they do that? It was like it was faster than the postage service.
There wasn't a problem.
No, but there was. It was like someone next door to me.
They just sent it back to you.
Yeah, it was broken. It came back to me, and it was like covered in takeaway food and stuff like that. And stains all over them. I said, no, it's still knackered. It's still knackered, Justin. Yes, they're broken. We have
we got it back to you super quick, though.
Yeah, we have no refund policy. No, but no, it's like working. It's back to me within 2 days, 3 days. That is phenomenal, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes, it's a good service.
That's why we pay a lot of money for Apple.
It's fine, isn't it?
Well, here's a flip side of Apple. My work MacBook Pro, which is only 4 years old and has all those the inputs for that USB-C. Justin.
So annoying.
That's all you have on these computers these days. You don't have any other. So HDMI and anything, you have to have a dongle that goes. Anyway, blah blah. Only 4 years old. Display died last week, and the battery's swollen. And so it's a write-off, and it's $2,500. It's like wow.
Oh, hang on. Is that? Hang on. So is that the M1 processor they've got? The new ones?
No. It's 4 years old. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, but they're going to send it back. Have you spoken to the guy in America? He says, hi, Peter. Let's figure out what's wrong. He said, what's wrong with it? It's exploded. Okay, can you try and plug it in? I don't think I can plug it in. It's on fire. Okay, no problem.
To be fair, Pete, that is quite rare because MacBooks do tend to go for a long time.
I've got a MacBook that I'm talking to you from right now, and this is like 7-8 years old. But I don't use it every day. My work one I use every day, and it's a little bit poor.
When you say work, are you using it for for business?
Business.
The key is sticky. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's it.
Conference calls.
Yeah. Conference calls.
Yes, conference on the.
Yeah. Hey, hi, Peter. I see you're already naked. Good. Wales did well today. Turkey, Wales 2, Turkey 0.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. Yep.
England versus Scotland. See that Cristiano Ronaldo thing? Did you see that?
Yes, Cristiano.
So Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo.
With the Coke.
Yeah, he just removed 2 bottles of Coke in the press conference, and it coincided with a £4 billion fall in the share price of Coca-Cola.
Yes, yeah.
I'm just thinking, how do we get an escape on £2 hat to him? Just get out of it. Escape on hat if you manage to do that. Just give it to me when I sat down. Escape on £2 on his hat.
I prefer to send him a Polarian one. I think that's probably more.
Maybe. Okay, let's. Anything else, boys? Should we finish off for Paddy? Give us the first ever good TV recommendation ever in his life. Apart from Houses Under the Hammer and MasterChef, which are absolutely dross. Time.
Oh, that was Steve's suggestion, wasn't it?
Was it?
Which, What one?
I'm obviously not, no.
Time.
Maybe it
No,
wasn't.
Steve doesn't even know what
Steve,
you're talking about.
time? What's time? It's 5:15.
Maybe it was mine. Maybe it's mine. I haven't
Time.
watched any more. I've only seen the first episode, though, so
Steve.
don't tell me that in.
You sure it's not the film Time Warp?
No, Steve, time. 7:30. No, that's the name of it, Steve. Time. I just told you.
It was my friend Paul that
7:30.
recommended it to me.
Oh yeah, I didn't recommend that.
No, he didn't. No, but time is what's his name? Stephen.
7:30.
Is it Stephen? Is it Stephen Graham? Is his name?
Stephen Graham.
Yeah.
Sean Bean.
Short Scouser guy, Sean Bean.
I've only
Very-
seen episode 1 though, so don't tell me how it ends.
It was very well acted, very well written, and it's
Sean
very
Bean's
good.
very good.
He
Very
is good,
low-key.
yes, he is, and almost a crushed teacher that's gone into basically Steve. Right, I won't give you any giveaways, but a teacher never been in Nick before. He's middle-aged guy. Sean Bean goes in, surrounded by Scousers, wrong uns, young wrong uns,
Nasty young men.
nasty bullies, and he goes in there for the first time ever. But and Stephen Graham is the guard, the prison guard there, and it's worth watching. It's horrible. It's nice. It's like it's depressing. I just said to Megan half of the. Do you think it's gonna have a happy ending on this one? I don't know. But it gives you a little insight into prison life and it's in Scousers land. And it's worth watching. BBC drama. I think it's 4-piece drama, four episodes, wasn't it, I think. But
I'll give it a go.
Absolutely perfect.
yeah. I'm also hearing lots about Jeremy Clarkson's farm thing. I put that on today.
I watched the first episode of it, and I hate Jeremy Clarkson. And actually, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, do you know what? A couple of guys in the Shippickers Investment Club, someone suggested it, but 3-4 guys said, that's the thing is, if you want big numbers, big figures of popularity, you either loved or loathed. If you're bland in the middle, you don't get anywhere. Jeremy Clarkson is really hated, but they show how big his farm is. They go, God, you can literally as far as the eye can see. But he's decided, obviously, I assume...
You know what, though? It falls with the same as the old Top Gear. Like, the bits that are really good is when he's genuinely just being natural, and the bits where are just rubbish is when he's trying to do his Top Gear, like, almost scripted, fake comedy, like... Because he was actually quite... He's just messing up. I don't know. It's just...
No, it's good because essentially he's on Amazon Prime, but he's gone to... He said, my previous career was this. And they do a montage of like Top Gear skids and all that stuff. But now... the guy who minds my farm in Chipton, was it in Norton, Chipton Norton, I retired, so I'm going to manage my farm. And literally, he realised how much work goes into a farm, and he starts doing that, and literally, he has got no idea of the work that goes into it, and he goes wrong all the time. And he goes to an auction to buy some equipment, and it's quite. I don't know how much is made up, but I mean, it sits quite naturally. It works, You
can tell the bits that are made up and the bits that are real, because the bits that are real are actually the best bits.
Yeah. The bit that's always made up, obviously, is when you had to get the grain, you had to get off that truck, and the trucks of grain, and he got one off. He said, "Thanks, buddy," and tapped the cab. He said, "No, these are all yours." He said, "What?" So you 46 tons of grain you have to get off. It took like 10 minutes, or it took an hour and a half to clear his barn out to get one bag of grain out, and these guys are sitting in these trucks waiting. But yeah, it's worth watching, whether you like him or not, because you just realise farming's bloody hard work,
Yeah.
And but it's worth watching. Anything else, Peter? You watch anything? You still watching that rubbish?
Just GB News, really.
Yeah, it's worth watching that. It's good comedy, that.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys? Anything else? I think,
No, and the football tonight, obviously.
Yes. What do you reckon?
Well, I've just seen that you, in your escape hunt...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Good.
predicted 5-1.
Yeah, no, Escape Hunt said when a free escape room, if you guess correctly. I don't know what they'll do if they'll pick the... But I thought, go big, I thought everyone's going 2-1, 1-1. I thought 5-1. I've gone 5-1.
Yeah,
if you go to Escape Hunt on Twitter...
Is that to Scotland, or...?
Well, yeah, no, 5-1. Isn't it? Did you see the Scottish guys? BBC insane. They were doing it, watching live coverage on a news channel. This female reporter standing outside a pub in London, in King's Cross. 50 Scots, about 11:30 this was, 12 o'clock, drinking heavily. I thought, are they even going to see the game, those guys? I don't think they will, but fair play, they're well behaved. I thought, she's asking for one of them to just whip up their kilt on live TV. But fair play, none of them did. But they were hammering it at like 12 o'clock, midday. And I thought, I suppose they don't even want to see the game, really, do they? Because the chances... Do you know what I say, though? In a 2-horse race, where one's massively favourite, bet the underdog.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I bet it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, what an anticlimax, I know.
I know.
Yeah.
Or worse, 0-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I watched that. Okay, oh no, Paddy sent some tweets there. There are naked Scottish guys. Did you see that one guy? He was drunk, right? Big fat Scottish guy, walking sideways across a busy street in London. A motorbike courier was coming along, doing about 15 miles an hour, trying to slow down, just smacked straight into him. Like that. Landed on the floor, his mate was filming, laughing his head off. And then the motorbike was on the floor, the Scottish guy was on the floor, the Scottish guy got back up, kept on walking, and the guy kept filming just laughing. I thought, he's been knocked down by a motorbike. You probably won't remember that in the morning. You'll wake up in the morning thinking, I felt like I've been run over. I said, you have, mate, look at this. And literally, the Scots are nuts, and in fact, there's a guy there, a fat Scottish guy, very pasty red face. He's got a helmet on his head, a police helmet, about 6 coppers surrounding him, and a bit of tartan covering his modesty, his chunky modesty. But there we are. There we are. I hope they enjoy the time down in London. But
he hasn't got a police helmet on. That's the policeman behind him that's wearing the police helmet.
He jumped in the
serpentine.
Serpentine, yeah. I was going to say in the quarantine. But, all right,
that's a very good photo they've taken there, isn't it? Perfectly timed with a helmet or the hat.
Yeah.
Well, as it were, yeah. Right, good stuff.
Lovely. Speak next week, boys.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Paddy.
What?
Say bye.
Bye.
The Share Pickers Weekend Podcast with Justin, Paddy, Peter and Steve. The content of this podcast is not intended as investment advice. It is for information purposes only. People in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.